you wrote in your pre-show notes that you would like to come on the podcast as someone who looks like a bimbo but has an actual IQ.
Yeah.
We're going to go split, okay? So fix the split. So what is your IQ, I guess?
I am dyslexic, and in school I actually got tested, not one of these stupid online things. I was 143.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's...
Is that Mensa?
Wait. You were over 140?
Yeah, 143. I have a twin sister. She was 142. My brother...
The percentage of the population that's over 140 is extremely small.
I know.
Wait, you said you took
Have
it
you
in...
done one?
Hold on.
I
have an average
did
IQ.
it I did it in school, 8th
average.
grade. Because, I wasn't...
Hold on. That's what I was about to ask. You said you took it in school. How old were you when you took it?
I was 5th grade.
You got 143 score on the IQ test in 5th grade.
Yeah.
11 in 5th grade.
Yeah.
What was the cost?
Because-
what was the cost for the IQ test?
There was no cost. I was having issues. I had a slur, and I wasn't performing like
That's actually
normally.
really common.
Yeah, they do assessments.
So they were trying to hold me back grades and stuff. But during the assessment,
Have you had it tested as an adult?
no.
You know it fluctuates.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I see
Do you think
people
it's
on the show,
still the same or
I don't.
higher?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's that high, but I'd say it's higher than average.
Okay. All right. You said that you don't sleep around and you would like to debate on things. You said you agree with a lot that is said on the show, but there are just some things you would like to give your input on. So I guess the first thing is some of the things that you want to get into. I think we had initially had you scheduled, but then there was a cancellation and you wrote to us saying the following. Considering what is happening to our nation right now, I'm not sure it is in my best interest to be associated with your podcast. We are in the fuck around and find out stage of politics. You all say that Democrats are the delusional ones, but that's not accurate.
I'm not a Democrat, first of all.
Sure. But you did say, y'all say that Democrats are the delusional ones, but that's not accurate at all.
I think both sides are delusional. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Democrats are delusional, but so are the Republicans. is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
all of it. The whole system's...
Delulu.
Yeah.
Okay. You said that...
Well, you also realize, Brian's an independent, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I didn't know that, but I'm just saying in general, I'm not blaming Brian for the Delulu of the world. I'm not blaming Brian for the Delulu of the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did I vote for?
Well, you independently voted for Trump.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I had to give Trump a W.
No,
But many independents
I just
voted
needed,
for Trump.
yeah,
Sure, that's fair.
I'm not blaming Brian. I mean the show in general and
Sure.
aspects of that.
So I'm going to... Wait, so hold on. I'm going to make a note to come back to this, but I'm going to jump to some of your other disagreements.
Okay.
So you said that we're good at debate techniques, a.k.a. manipulation techniques.
Oh, yeah, a lot of debate is just a form of manipulation. It's not about winning the debate, it's about controlling the conversation. Whoever's in control, there's a lot of people that aren't used to debate and those tactics.
I can agree with that.
So they're quiet and they get confused easily and they are more agreeable in those situations. And it doesn't really, it's not constructive to actually coming to solutions in society. It's more like who's the winner, who's the loser. And it just kind of, when you say that there's birth rate problems and
I don't really
hatred,
talk about that,
well, he does.
Okay.
It's kind of not
Wait,
constructive.
finish the hatred of?
Both. There's more hatred on both sides of the sexes. Comments and people. If you want a society to work, we should come to solutions instead of having.
See, I loathe this type of ideology. Let me
Why?
explain. I have more respect for the Marxist feminist over there next to you, and here's actually why.
Yeah. Okay.
Because she picks a side. And here's the thing, right? It's hang on, I'll explain.
Okay.
Right? So if you're a knight on a battlefield and you're going out to battle, right? And in modernity, the battle is the info war. And debate
The what? Sorry,
is
info
the
war?
information war.
Okay.
That is the battle in modernity. And the tool that we have, one of the primary weapons we have is debate and discourse. People are
Yeah,
going to
cool.
be good at it. They're going to be bad at it. I agree with that portion of it, right?
Yeah, you're a good
But
master debater.
the worst part is when people refuse to pick a side of it.
Oh, I mean,
Hang on.
cool.
Hang on, almost done. It's when they refuse to pick a side of it, right? At least I know her side. And at least she knows my side. So at least when we go to the battlefield, right, and we're duking it out, we understand what the hell it is we're fighting for. You, like the position that you have of the perceived neutrality, right?
I'm not that neutral.
Yeah,
first of
so
all.
that's the thing, right? Is that I don't think you're neutral. I think, though, that you're trying to frame this as though you're neutral.
I'm not neutral.
I'm not a Democrat. I'm not blaming you for
no,
this.
I'm here for a
so
solution. I'm libertarian. I'm here for a solution, not just fighting against each other and
How are you
making us
going to have a
hate each
solution
other.
with people who disagree with libertarianism? The Marxist feminist does, and I do.
I'm coming. I don't
what do
care.
you want?
I want a solution to the problem instead of fighting against each other all the time.
Does it bother you that he's independent? Just curious.
What's that?
I'm more
Does it bother you
independent.
that he's independent since he hasn't picked his
I was
side?
that was like obviously me joking. I don't know if you picked that up or not, but that's why he was laughing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like,
That's why I'm here.
that was obvious. That was like obviously me joking. But anyway, that
Yeah,
aside,
why I'm here is like we're all repulsed from each other, and what your show is doing is making us more repulsed from each other. What is it actually doing to help society?
Sure. Well, I'll answer that in a couple of ways. So,
Okay.
before I do, don't want to quite let you get away with this. So you said we're good at debate techniques, aka manipulation techniques.
I
Can you-
explained that. Why
Well,
I say it's manipulation.
Yeah, give me a precise example of like a scenario in which either tonight or like a previous show, I've hold on, let me
Not
finish.
you, it's him.
Stop.
Yeah, okay.
Let me
always
finish.
me.
Yeah, sorry,
Let me get my
sorry.
words out.
Sorry.
Can you present either tonight or previous episode a manipulation technique I have employed? Go ahead.
Oh, it's not you. It's him.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have that many problems with you. You're nice.
Oh.
I never said I had
Okay,
a
well,
problem
I'll
with
come
you.
back to that and you guys can have that conversation then. I'll get through.
It's not you.
But you have an issue with the show, so I'll address that one. You said that, let's see here. You wrote, well, I'll come through a couple things. You said that that we bring on young women with no education to debate on
Yeah.
things they know nothing about.
Yeah, like OnlyFans girls and stuff.
Yeah, well, so let me.
Very small percentage.
So let me.
OnlyFans girls?
Hold on. So, I'd like to address the multiple false claims here. When you say young woman, give me an age.
Like early 20s.
That's a okay.
I'm
That's,
37, so I would call that like young.
so what do you think is like the appropriate age where you're allowed to have like a conversation with
Oh,
somebody?
you can have a conversation any age. I'm just saying if you mostly get people who are not educated and like get their views off of TikTok, then you're not going to get a realistic.
hang on. I just want to point something out.
Yeah.
How old are you?
23.
And what's your education level?
Bachelor's.
Anything else?
No, I'm talking about social media influence.
I don't know. I don't get it. No, wait. I really don't get it.
Blake.
23
Social
years
media.
old.
You're
Bachelor's
41.
degree. I have no
Okay.
bachelor's degree.
I
Hang
mean,
on, hang on,
education
hang on.
in real
I don't
world.
have any bachelor's degree.
I'm not talking about like going to college. I'm talking about just real world experience.
Yeah. So
That's what
these
I'm
people
talking
can
about.
vote.
Yeah, maybe I
They
don't
can
agree. at all.
vote.
I think we should raise that. I think we should raise the age of
what?
alcohol.
Okay.
25.
So look, I'll just address the multiple false claims.
Yeah.
You said that we bring on young.
Their opinions.
Okay, you said that we bring on young women with no education. I'll just explore the young woman part. So we keep statistics on our guests. The average age of the guests on our show are 26.
Cool. That's good. I just mean
Okay,
education
but
on.
We're not just bringing in
What's
like.
the oldest? guest
Older
you've
than
had?
me. We've had on women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Are you talking
just
about mean or like
Consistently.
or average?
Usually there's panels most panels are pretty
Medium?
mixed where you have an older and younger demographic. So
was just curious.
even right now we do. So
I
I'm
just
closer in
mean-
age to
I
you
don't
two
want y'all to
than I am
take what I
them,
say
right?
and use it like I mean. What I do mean is that people in the younger generation are influenced by social media and they don't really have that much real life experience. And that makes it an issue that with fake media, it goes on both sides. I mean, fake news, it goes on both sides and people don't really know what's actually going on.
So
in the
wait,
world.
what you're saying is that young people
I'm not, yeah.
tie in to social media in order to inform their worldview, and we're on social media assisting and informing their worldview. Why would this be a problem?
I mean, all of it's delusional. Like I said, both sides Democrat and Republican. It's become a huge issue. But young people are more susceptible
Democrats
to
are not delusional. And Republicans are not delusional.
There are delusion in a lot of it because of fake news and all of that.
And there's creators who hold delusions and things like this, right? You have opposition ideologies, which people do come to through reasoned discourse in their own in-group. And they're not always unreasonable ideologies.
I'm not saying
true.
that.
It is true that
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people are heavily influenced.
Hang on. They do need to be combated, from my view. Right? And from her view, like let's take Kinsey, for instance. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to combat ideologies which she considers to be counterproductive to the society she wants to see. Same thing with me, trying to combat ideologies which are counterproductive to the society that I want to see. If the venue that we do this in is social media, you're saying that that's where young people go, right?
Yeah.
Why in the world is that not exactly where we would be in order to produce the ideology we want to see for the world?
Because it's always left or right. When you view one side, you only view that side and you don't view the other side. And then,
if only there was a show that had conservative Christians and Marxist feminists debating.
Listen, I'm not.
Where could we find a show like that?
I'm not finished.
All right, go ahead.
I'm not finished. See, like I completely lost what I was saying because you interrupted me. So what was the last thing that we said?
You were saying that essentially. You don't present the other side, and so I was just saying.
I don't think there should be two sides.
Okay,
there shouldn't be two sides. First of all, I don't believe in a two-party system, and that's where my opinion comes from. Is I don't think there should be one's right, one's wrong.
So, I'd like to bring it back to the actual criticism, which is that you bring on young women with no education. So, I've already provided statistics that we keep pretty thoroughly. The average age of our guests
I would
is 26.
say only girls aren't really educated.
You just criticized him for interrupting you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've asked you to let me finish. It's okay. Just let me finish.
Yeah.
All right. I tend to be fairly quick. So
I'm sorry.
You said that we bring on young women with no education, whether they're older or young. We do bring in women on with education. There are women here who are educated. We've had on PhDs. We have on a PhD, or I guess doctorate. I don't know if it's still called a PhD in nursing, or is it just, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
In any case, we've brought on women who have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, PhDs. We've also bring on women who've dropped out of college. Here's the thing, though, just like me, because I don't have some advanced degree in sociology or politics or philosophy or any of this stuff. I'm a college dropout. So I don't think it would actually, can you actually state what would be wrong with me as a college dropout talking to somebody else who's a college dropout? What would actually be wrong with that?
Oh, I'm not talking about that. When I say uneducated, I mean people with no life experience.
Everybody has life experience.
If you're talking to OnlyFans girls who show their boobs online, have never had a job, and don't know anything about politics, then I would call them uneducated.
Your assumption is that OnlyFans girls are 21?
18 to 50. I'm not saying it's just an age thing.
Listen,
the majority of the girls on here that are on this side of the table are not the conservative side of the table.
Not a single girl.
No girl here does OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. That girl.
No, that's great.
Doesn't have OnlyFans.
I just mean the majority. When you have these,
it's not the majority. It's 15%.
Here, tell me.
15% of what?
Guess how many of my guests do OnlyFans?
Well, you said 15%. That's good.
Now
that's more than the average population.
Well, hang on.
Of OnlyFans.
We're looking at the potential that in the next 10 years, 1 in 10 Zoomer women do OnlyFans.
That sucks. It shouldn't be like that.
15% in that demographic. It is a slight over-representation, but not much.
What's the current?
It still applies to what I'm saying.
For Zoomers,
does it not?
Is it 1 in 10 now? I don't think it is.
No, there's not.
It's not 1 in 10 now.
I don't know anyone who does OnlyFans. So.
Hang on, it's slated to be. But the point is that even if it's a slight overrepresentation, one, it's not Zoomers. It's across the board. I'm just pointing out in Zoomers, there's a potential. Well, no, it's not 1 in 10. I'm sorry. Maybe it's 1 in 30. I don't remember what it was. But the point is it's very, very high. Okay, whatever the percentile will be for Zoomers with OnlyFans. But the percentage of OnlyFans models is increasing. The OnlyFans girls are increasing. Prostitution's increasing. Sex work is increasing. It's a very easy way for a lot of women to try to make a buck.
I disagree with that.
Well, okay,
So,
great.
I mean-
That's great you disagree with it. But that means it's a representation of people who have an ideology which needs to be combated if you disagree with it.
Okay, I agree with that, but when you're bringing on more OnlyFans people and the normal population, I don't know any people who do OnlyFans. The normal world, most of us don't really come
I don't think that Brian
across-
brings on the representation population of doctors, of nurses, of if you take the show stats, you
'cause
probably
they're too busy to do
Well,
it.
no. What I'm saying is that regardless of the population at large versus the percentage that comes on the podcast itself, I don't think he probably has a representation population for any of them. Why would he? That makes no sense.
Because they have real issues to deal with.
I mean, we have a woman who has a doctorate in nursing here, but in any
That's
case,
cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
but I guess
When I told you my view on education, I'm not saying literally doctorates. I say people that came from they came from bad childhoods. They went into bad situations, and you bring them on to generalize women or generalize men in situations.
so let me just address something you said
Well,
previously.
It's actually specific, right?
No, you generalize all the time. Like you said, this whole table didn't respond to. It's a
Yeah,
generalization.
I actually think that's totally fair to
of
say that women
saying we're
tend to,
majority
You
when
can
it's not.
make generalized statements, right? But when we're talking to each individual here, we're honing down on specifics that you gave us.
No, yeah, that's fine. I mean, my issue is generalizing that people who go on here with, I guess, more slutty jobs and stuff versus the general population. And if you see the comments and
You think
stuff,
the general population is prevented from being a slut because they don't have a slutty job?
Wait,
Listen.
really quick, hold on 1 sec.